Hello, I'm Dr. Howard Casanova, a licensed clinical psychologist and professor of psychology at Hofstra University in New York. In this video, I'm going to talk with you about anger. It's an emotion that we've all experienced at one time or another when we've interacted with our parents, our children, friends, family members, even strangers or co-workers. Unfortunately, anger is really misunderstood, and it's often confused with aggression or hostility. Anger is actually a negative feeling state that's associated with thoughts of injustice. Perhaps people say, "You've done me wrong, you were unfair, you should have acted differently." And what the anger does is it motivates us to act in ways that will warn the other person that we are annoyed, that will intimidate the other person, that tries to control the other person, or to gain some kind of retribution. One of the interesting things is that anger varies in frequency. There are some people that get angry all of the time at almost every little injustice, every little problem, every line that they have to wait on, every time somebody doesn't wait on them correctly in the store, or some telephone salesman calls. They're angry all the time. Other people rarely become angry. Sometimes when we become angry, we become furious, enraged. Sometimes it's just a mild annoyance. And some anger endures for long periods of time, while other anger seems to just come and go. So there's wide variation in anger.
Let's say my coworker is openly abusive to me and in front of other people. What should I do?
Well, the first thing you want to do is get very clear with yourself. What do you mean by abusive? Apply what we call the video camera test. Could you describe the behavior as if you saw it on a TV monitor as to the behavior that's causing you to feel like you're being abused?
So once I figure out, okay, yes, this is abusive, this is offensive, what do I do next?
Well, then you want to bring it to the person, but you want to bring it to the person, first of all, alone. You don't want to do it in front of the group. You want to catch them, pull them aside, and you want to deal with that objective data. So you might say, look, when you in a meeting, lean in and point your finger at me and raise your voice, it makes me feel attacked, it makes me feel threatened, it makes me feel defensive. I would like to ask you not to do that or try and watch that. So ask them for their help in changing their own behavior.
But what if it's someone who's higher up, who's maybe your manager or someone who has the power to fire you?
Well, in any of these interactions, you're weighing a risk-reward benefit, right? You're basically saying there's some risk in having the conversation with this person. If I win, if I do it well, I get a reward. If I lose and it goes badly and goes south, there's something bad that happens. And so the risk-reward payoff changes. The approach is the same with the senior manager, but the risk-reward thing changes. You have to decide whether it's worth addressing or not.
When is it appropriate to finally take it to HR?
Well, if you've addressed it with the person, if you've had the conversation and said, I'm asking for this because it makes me feel this way, and it's still not working, you can try it again. If you try it a couple times with the person and get nowhere, then if you feel strongly about it, then you've got a good reason to go to HR and say, look, I've tried to address this directly and it hasn't worked.
In summary?
In summary, be clear about what the behavior is, address the behavior with the person directly, one-on-one, all by themselves, ask for their help in changing their behavior, and make sure it's worth having the discussion.
Now, I'd like to say to you that anger management programs do work, and they're quite effective. So if you think that you're becoming angry too often, too intensely, or that your anger endures for too long, it's time to begin an anger management program. I wish you good luck.